Now, we're moving into your huge main event title fight here in the 155-pound weight class. You're a guy who's no stranger to the bright lights of the Cagezilla cage. You haven't fought since the beginning of this year, but in my opinion, I think you're on a resurgence of sorts. You're up against a booming lightweight in Ashraf Abdedin, a guy who is undefeated, a guy who just loves to fight, man. He wants to compete every weekend. He'd probably compete in the thumb wrestling tournament if they had one next week. But seriously, though, I think, firstly, tell us what you might know about Ashraf. What do you think about him as an opponent headed into October 25th at Cagezilla 87?
I think I've met him in the back of one of maybe the TCB fights or something. I'm not sure. Ashraf, I respect him quite a bit. I have a soft spot for any Muslim fighter out there. I know we come from this similar neck of the woods. As a fighter, it looks like he's a first round finisher. He's a tough striker. I don't know too much about him as a person, but I would say as a fighter, he seems like sort of the antithesis to the style that I have. And so for me, that's a big challenge to overcome, but something that I welcome. I want to fight the toughest of the tough, and I want to fight the best of the best. He seems like somebody who is aggressive. He comes forward. He wants to bang, and I'm no stranger, nor am I afraid of something like that. So for me, I welcome a challenge like that. I'm really excited to test where I've come from and what I've been doing, and especially coming off of my last fight, which it didn't go my way, but it was for me a huge spiritual and mental awakening in the sport. And I think what you guys are about to see between me and him on October 25th, it's going to be my best performance, and you're about to see a side of me that people were not expecting, I don't think.
Oh man, that puts some goosebumps on me, man. That makes me excited to see the fight, and I think this being your first main event title slot, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us, Khaldoon. You've kind of already touched on it a little bit, but tell our Cagezilla Unchained audience, what kind of energy will the son of a butcher be bringing into fight night? What can we expect to see from you come Cagezilla 87?
Oh, at the cost of sounding a little corny, I'm gonna have to put him through the meat grinder, man. I'm gonna have to do it. No offense, all the respect. I got all the respect for Ashraf.
Yeah.
For me, it's purely business, and we're both trying to be the best that we can be. I'm gonna come in there. I'm fully confident in how it's gonna go. I do believe it's gonna end in that first round.
Oh wow! Okay.
I think him and I are really going to put on an amazing show. I'm just excited to be out there and to overcome the lows that I've been through and to continue climbing up to the top. It doesn't end for me here, but being a champ at Cagezilla, a lot of people say, well, it's an amateur belt. You don't have to worry about it too much, or it's not that big a deal. But to me, it's a big deal. And to me, from where I started, if you told me 3 years ago when I started fighting that, one day I'd be a main event and that I'd be fighting for a title, I would have been like, no, you're crazy. That couldn't be me. But, here we are against an amazing opponent and an amazing team in Aikido. And so, I'm very excited to put on a show. And, I put full, absolute faith in Allah that it's going to go the way it should. And I pray that both of us come out safe just at the end of it.
That's awesome, man. Put him through the meat grinder. I like that. I like that from the son of a butcher. And man, that's exciting because I think you've scratched and clawed your way to the top, back to the top here, man. You've had your highs and your lows, and I can't think of a better guy, both character wise and as an athlete that I would want in here in this lightweight title fight, man. So I think you and him both deserve it, and I think it's really a lightweight title fight treat for all our Cagezilla fans, man, here coming up October 25th.